Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Eddie Hearn has raised the possibility of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury taking place at Wembley. This is an outside possibility, but it still could happen. This is what he had to say. I was talking to Bob Arum about Wembley and he asked me about restrictions, and of course I told him about the Euros going into Wembley and the talks of full capacity going there in June/July. Could we get full capacity after Euros at sort of middle end of July? If we could, that does bring London and Wembley into the conversation. I'd love to find an excuse to do it in the UK and to find a way. I think most people, to be honest with you, that includes the Middle East. They would prefer to do the fight back end of the year. Do we do the first one in London and the second one in the Middle East? Or wherever those interesting offers come from. There's a lot of discussions to be had. We don't rule out Wembley, but one thing we do know is the only way we could stage the fight at Wembley is with a full capacity. There are some conversations going on with the government to see if that is an option, and if that is an option then that will be presented to the fighters as well. So there we go, that is what Eddie Hearn has explained about Wembley and the possibility of doing it in London. What is interesting about those comments is that the Middle East would prefer to do it later in the year as opposed to the projected June or July date. That is very interesting because if they would rather do it then that does create more of a possibility to do it in London at Wembley, so maybe that is a possible thing that they can explore, doing it in London like Eddie Hearn explained, then doing the rematch in the Middle East. Previously I would have thought it would have been Middle East first, then do the rematch in London, but that just depends on the possibility that the second fight is bigger than the first one. The first one is going to be huge due to the anticipation going in, so that is why that one will be so big, because no one knows what is going to happen. It's a genuine 50-50, whereas going into the second fight we will have more of a gist as to what might happen because of what happened in the first one, but having said that, the second one will be huge because of what happens in the first one. So no matter what happens, both the fights are huge no matter where they take place. It all depends on whether they can get fans back in the arenas by June or July. We are given this date by the government where things will look a lot more normal, which is June 21 I believe. So it would likely happen in July, I mean after the Euros as well. Eddie Hearn said mid to late July, so if that is projected for this fight, then there is the possibility that we can have fans back in the arenas or stadium by then. It is just whether they can get the capacity of 90,000 in Wembley. I believe that the possibility of this fight happening in the UK has gone up, and it's not just because of fans, it's because of something else. And Eddie Hearn said it in that interview. He said that the Middle East would prefer to do it later in the year. I know that there are many other territories that would take this fight, like America, like Asia. There are other places they can go other than the UK and the Middle East, but I've said it from the very beginning, this fight will likely go to Saudi if it goes anywhere beyond the UK, just because of the relationship there with Eddie Hearn and those over in Saudi. They've put up a site fee before, so I just thought that that would be the most viable option to take this fight. I mean, it is possible it goes to Dubai, it is possible that it goes somewhere in Asia. America I would count out. I don't think the fight would go to America, and I don't think it should, because they would want it prime time US, which would be like 4 or 5 in the morning for 2 Brits in an undisputed fight. That cannot happen, it must be prime time in the UK. So that is the reason why they need to get a site fee, to ensure that they have the prime time UK, but also so they generate the maximum revenue they can from this fight. If the Middle East is out because they want it later on, then they will likely take the second fight, and that leaves it open for the first fight to take place in the UK. That is what makes it more possible, not just because of fans, but because the Middle East perhaps want the fight later on. And they would likely get the rematch, but that leaves it open for the first one to take place in the UK, provided they can have 90,000 at Wembley. So it looks a little bit more promising whether this fight could take place in the UK. And Eddie Hearn even said as much by saying we could have the first one in the UK, then the Middle East or whoever may have it, take it for the second fight. That does kind of prove that the reason why the UK is being pushed forwards a little bit more now is because the Middle East would prefer to take a fight later in the year. So guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? The fact that it could take place in the UK is very promising and very exciting, and not confirmed, and there is an outside chance, but hopefully that does happen in mid to late July. Guys, anyway, drop your thoughts on this in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.